to find yourself.
Istanbul offers great universities and the lifestyle is really amazing here.
So I live at the dorms at Maltepe University and I'm really happy with it. There's a cleaning service every few days and then there's the library nearby which is open 24/7.
My first impression when I came was like, it's huge. You have everything in one place.
When you first come to Maltepe University, you don't know where what is and you're like, oh my God, I need help. Guess what? You're not alone. There is the international office people over there. They're like family. They're very helpful and they're always there for you.
Istanbul is the perfect mixture between ancient and modern. Coming into this city helps me discover myself, learn about so many different cultures, learning about the world, which will help me in writing future books.
At Maltepe University, we have a lot of research centers. Because of that, we have the ability to participate in a lot of international projects.
Here at Maltepe University, the education consists of both practical and theoretical. We get the opportunity to practice everything we learn in class in real life. So after we graduate, we have a degree and we can work all over the world.
People come to Istanbul all the time, but what they really miss when they visit are the antique shops, which contain thousands of years of memories and also a thread of the modern future.
I like to use every minute and just get out and hop on the ferry and just go from the Asian side to the European side and just enjoy the wonderful weather with the wonderful Bosphorus behind me and just enjoying the moment of Istanbul.
Istanbul is very beautiful with great culture.
This city is the symbol of diversity. Come and study at Maltepe University.
Come here and feel like you're home.
Hello again. Now we will continue our session with our next source. And now I'm inviting Daniel to give his presentation.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you all. At first, sorry, I just need to check the sharing.
Okay.
Yes, can you see my screen?
Just a second. Yes, now we will see.
Yeah, can you see it, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm gonna start. At first, thank you very much for this invitation. I'm very glad to be here with you. My study is dedicated to one very interesting case which happened 2 months ago in Slovakia, in my home country. As you know, I'm currently on a doctoral PhD degree in University of Alexander Dubček in Trenčín. Alexander Dubček was one of the most influential politicians in Slovak history. Probably know for people who are better oriented in a political sciences, especially in a political history in 60s and 70s of 20th century. I decided to
Daniel,
look at...
Daniel, I'm sorry. Can you do your presentation full screen?
Yes, sorry. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay now.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I just want to say very shortly what was the subject and what was the methodology of my study. The subject was the presentation of media construction of the case Sputnik V and the fall of Igor Matović. This presentation or this media construction was based on two different types of media or content media. I decided to use the method of narrative analysis, which is, as we know, the very it is the method what we use when we are doing some qualitative research. It's based on a subjective view of a researcher. It is not the method you can probably use in when you have some big group of people. So this method is based on the deep analysis of some content. Especially it is used in sociology, psychology, but also in political science. Probably and especially when you want to research some media content, as in my study. Narrative analysis is very interesting for people who like stories and who like storytelling, because this method works with media content as an updated form of archetypal stories of culture-based myths. It means that you, thanks to this method, you are able to analyze the stories and media content and identify the archetypes as we maybe know from the fairy tales, for example, or for the old stories, which are full of good guys, bad guys, or good heroes, bad heroes, and something like this. And maybe it doesn't look like a scientific method, but you can trust me, it is a scientific method, and the result is not so funny as I maybe mentioned now, but it's very interesting for researchers. As I told, is a qualitative research method, and it examines how the media tell us stories. What is very, very important, especially in a current times when we are very strongly influenced by media content. Not just I don't mean only the classical media content, but also the online media content, social networks, etc., etc. It's also the good method when you work with something what we call agenda setting theory. Agenda setting theory is about how the media content can influence the public view of some reality or some interpretation of this reality. Because as we know, the media showed us and deliver us just the interpretation of reality, not the reality. So many people from 60s to these years are interested in this agenda setting, and I am one of them, especially in Slovakia. Why I decided to take the story of Igor Matović. Igor Matović was the prime minister of Slovak Republic, and it looks to be the regional or local story, but it isn't a local story. I think this is the story which is very, very, very known in every part of world. Not just because this story was also reflected by articles in the New York Times or the foreign policy, but also it's about how the political career can be influenced by the media content, or how the way or by the way how these politicians and their work is interpreted by different medias. I selected two different medias which I wanted to analyze. The first is Deník N. This is you can see on the left part of the screen, and the second one is Hlavné správy. These two media are as I told, they are different. The Deník N is closer to the liberal topics and liberal philosophy. Also very close to the questions of human rights. When we want to say it in a political way, it's close to the left political ideology, but not the social, but more the liberal left-wing ideology. And the Hlavné správy is the Slovak media, which is close to the nationalism and the more conservative narrative or some language. When I spoke about Igor Matovic, as you can see on this graph, his popularity, which 1 year ago was about 48%, fall to the 15% today. The story what I analyzed was not about the whole political fall of Igor Matovic. It was just about this final run of his fall. But it was the very important because it was the final run before his demission. These are the personalities which made the most important roles in this story. Here you can see Igor Matovic. This is our president, Zuzana Čaputová. This is and these three people are party leaders who were in a coalition with Igor Matovic. So this was the coalition. This guy is Marek Krajčí, our former health minister, and these two ladies are Zuzana Batová. She is the head of SUKL. It means she is the head of Slovak medical agency, which gives registration for medicals and drugs and etc. And this lady is Kristina Wittmüller-Hoche, which is the head of EMA. It's something like Zuzana Batová, but she is the leader and she is the head of European Medical Agency. When we want to make this narrative analyze, at first we need to make something like a timeline, because we want to separate one story in a different parts. You can see some rectangles which are 11 in total, and you can see how the story of political fall Igor Matovic evolved to the end. At first, there was one very interesting and very important story. At first March 2000, Sputnik V vaccines have been imported to Slovakia. It was the personal not need, but it was the personal initiative of Igor Matovic, because it came to the situation when Sputnik V was not registered by European authorities. In 2 days, there was a big problem with this, and those political partners of Igor Matovic asked him to resign on his position. But it was not just because this. So of course there were many problems before this, but you can see how the timeline goes. There was also one interesting international problem when journalists asked Igor Matovic how much do we pay for this Sputnik V vaccines. He made a joke and he told them we will not pay money. We will give to Russian Transcarpathian Ukraine. Is a part of Ukraine, and you can imagine that in a context of crime and in a context of East Ukraine, this is not a good topic for jokes. So Matovic apologizes via Twitter in one day. Matovic also refused to recall his health minister and accused Richard Sulik of wanting to destroy the government. Now we can see that there was a big problem between these guys who are the close party leader, and in 2 days came one of the most important news in this story. Christina Wittmüller-Hoche, head of EMA, said and asked European countries not to use vaccine Sputnik V before until it has been registered. Igor Matovic reacted to this call and asked, ironically, EMA to work harder to make this registration faster. It was the big problem for not just for Igor Matovic but also for our international image. So Zuzana Baťová, who is the head of Slovak Authority for Medicines, apologized to the EMA for the statement of Igor Matovic. It is quite crazy because Zuzana Baťová and Slovak Institute for Medicines is an institution which is under the government, and the head of government is Igor Matovic. But you can see how the crazy situation was in Slovakia. In the same days, Zuzana Čaputová, the president, said to Igor Matovic to take the political responsibility for the crisis. On the next day, the Minister of Health resigned, but Prime Minister Igor Matovic calls it like the most absurd resignation in history. And it was also the reason why other three leaders from the other three coalition government parties said to Igor Matovic and asked him to resign. And the final situation was when Igor Matovic resigns for his prime minister function. President Čaputová is exist. This is the table which is the result of my analysis. I made something like tonality scale, which show us how the different how this mentioned two media, Deník N and Hlavné správy, reflected to this whole story. As you can see in this row, there are 11 parts. All these parts are the same parts, like you can see in this timeline, and you can see how these media reacted in different tonality to claims or to speeches, interviews of those personalities. I just want to check my time. Do I have some more minutes, or I'm on the end? Sorry?
You can continue if you like.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. You can see in this first rectangle that the situation was reflected by these two media in a different ways. In Deník N, these two politicians, Igor Matovic and Marek Krajčí, were reflected more negative. In contrast to the Hlavné správy, when these two politicians were reflected more positive. We can see how the situation evolved in this color scale to the end, and how we can see also the differences which were in each parts of the story. we can see that only in this one rectangle, which was the rectangle about the Emma statement, when head of Emma said to the Slovakia not to use this Sputnik V vaccine, was in the same tonality, in the neutral tonality. You can see also one interesting point, that in the last part of this story was the tonality of Igor Matovic closer to positive than in the case of Hlavné správy. It is quite interesting because you can see that in the beginning of the story was the situation different, and now it changed because this was the one point of the story when Denigen said that Igor Matovic made a good decision because he made his resignation. I'm on the end of the presentation. As I told you before, I made a narrative analysis of 32 media articles, and we came to the following conclusion. The tonality presentation in the Sputnik V case showed a different approach of both media, while in the case of Denik N, a critical attitude towards the action and attitudes of Igor Matovic. In the case of Hlavné správy, this approach was mostly neutral, sometimes slightly positive. And as I mentioned before, an interesting finding was that in the end of the case, Denigen came up with the first positive evaluation of Igor Matovic, even in a more positive tonality than in the Hlavné správy. These are my sources, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
And now I'm inviting Laura to give his presentation.
This is the place to find yourself.
Istanbul offers great universities and the lifestyle is really amazing here.
So I live at the dorms at Ahmads University, and I'm really happy with it. There's a cleaning service every few days, and then there's the library nearby, which is open 24/7.
My first impression when I came was like, it's huge. You have everything in one place.
When you first come to multiple university, you don't know where what is, and you're like, oh my God, I need help. Guess what? You're not alone. There is the international office people over there. They're like family. They're very helpful, and they're always there for you.
Istanbul is the perfect mixture between ancient and modern. Coming into this city helps me discover myself, learn about so many different cultures, learning about the world, which will help me in writing future books.
At Maltepe University, we have a lot of research centers. Because of that, we have the ability to participate in a lot of international projects.
Here at Maltepe University, the education consists of both practical and theoretical. We get the opportunity to practice everything we learn in class in real life. So after we graduate, we have a degree and we can work all over the world.
People come to Istanbul all the time, but what they really miss when they visit are the antique shops, which contain thousands of years of memories, and also a thread of the modern future.
I like to use every minute and just get out and hop on the ferry and just go from the Asian side to the European side and just enjoy the wonderful weather with the wonderful Bosphorus behind me and just enjoying the moment of Istanbul.
Istanbul is very beautiful with great culture.
This city is the symbol of diversity. Come and study at Maltepe University.
Come here.
This is the place to find yourself.
Istanbul offers great universities and the lifestyle is really amazing here.
So I live at the dorms at Malta University, and I'm really happy with it. There's a cleaning service every few days, and then there's the library nearby, which is open 24/7.
My first impression when I came was like, it's huge. You have everything in one place.
When you first come to Malta University, you don't know where what is, and you're like, oh my God, I need help. Guess what? You're not alone. There is the international office people over there. They're like family. They're very helpful, and they're always there for you.
Istanbul is the perfect mixture between ancient and modern. Coming into this city helps me discover myself, learn about so many different cultures, learning about the world, which will help me in writing future books.
At Malta University, we have a lot of research centers. Because of that, we have the ability to participate in a lot of international projects.
Here at Malta University, the education consists of both practical and theoretical. We get the opportunity to practice everything we learn in class in real life. So after we graduate, we have a degree and we can work all over the world.
People come to Istanbul all the time, but what they really miss when they visit are the antique shops, which contain thousands of years of memories and also a thread of the modern future.
I like to use every minute and just get out and hop on the ferry and just go from the Asian side to the European side and just enjoy the wonderful weather with the wonderful Bosphorus behind me and just enjoying the moment of Istanbul.
Istanbul is very beautiful with great culture.
This city is the symbol of diversity. Come and study at Malta University.
Come here and feel like you're home.
Or due to some technical issues, we will make you wait a bit. We're real sorry. Okay. Then now I'm inviting again Laura to give his presentation.
Okay. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. It's okay?
No, actually, yes. Now it's okay. We can see.
Okay. 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 Well, thanks for this opportunity. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. I am Ahmad Soleh, and in here I'm with my colleague Patria Laura Natali. We are from the Department of Professional Psychology, Islamic University of Indonesia. Today, we will try to explain our research. This research use systematic literature review or literature review studies with the title "The Role of Wudu as a Regulation of Body Temperature to Prevent Psychological Problems During COVID-19 Pandemic." Okay. Okay, Patria will continue.
Okay. The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted many aspects of life and requires a lot of adjustment, called the new normal. One of many aspects that affected during COVID-19 is ecological problems. Next. Psychological problems during COVID-19 pandemics can be caused by lockdown and quarantine policies, negative stigma among health professionals, Fibromyalgia that occurs in people who are actively infected and covered disease, paranoid infected COVID-19 survivors, and the grief experienced by the families of coronavirus patients who died. Next. These phenomena can lead to anger, disappointment, frustration, fear, boredom, stress, anxiety, negative stigma, demotivation, loneliness, etc. Next. Okay. Nowadays, one of many ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus is body temperature screening with thermal imaging scanners or non-contact thermometers. Body temperature becomes one of predictive factors as parameter to know the indication of severe stage COVID-19 besides diabetes, chills, and initial chest X-ray. The physiological problems can be predicted by body temperature such as dengue fever, seasonal influenza, severe acute respiratory syndrome, etc. And psychological problems can also predict by body temperature, for example, are stress, anxiety, and to know some emotional recognition like sadness or anger. It's also known as peripheral body temperature. Next. In Islam, there is a ritual called wudu that usually done to perform worship, but it also has great benefits for both physical, psychological health, and effects to reduce body temperature. Some studies reported that wudu as an activity to prevent COVID-19 because it applies cleanliness and a healthy lifestyle by washing hands cleanly in wudu activities and maintaining an attitude of things that can invalidate wudu. Next. What is wudu? Haryawan defines that wudu is a combination of some therapies consisted of massage therapy, hygiene therapy, hydrotherapy, and also relaxation therapy. Hamid Erols defines that wudu is the procedure that involves water to clean a selected body from small impurities, which are requirement activities to worship or salat. Shankdar explains wudu as an Islamic purification ritual with washing a specified body with water as a form of preparation spiritually, mentally, and physically. Minhas explained that wudu co-equal with a half bath as a cleansing procedure. The definition of wudu can be concluded as the activity of purifying certain body parts using water and involving intention, which is carried out as a form of spiritual, mental, and physical preparation before prayer. In addition to the requirement of salat or worship, wudu is also recommended before going to bed because it has many benefits such as religious relaxation. Next. Next. Okay. Here's the steps of the simple procedure of wudu. Okay. Before we start wudu, we have to make an intention to make wudu. We can do this by whispering to our heart like, I'm going to make wudu. Then say Bismillah. Then we next to the step 1, completely wash hands including wrists on between the fingers 3 times like this. And second, rinse the mouth out 3 times like this. And the third is sniff water into your nose as far as you can with your right hand, then blow it out using with left hands, and do this 3 times. Step 4. Wash the face from the forehead to the chin and from the ear to ear 3 times, like this. And the step 5, wash the arms from the tips of your fingers to just above your elbow 3 times, like this, until this. Okay. The step 6, using wet hands, rub them over the top of the head, starting at the forehead, whipping backwards. And that. Okay. The step 7, using wet fingers, wipe the inside and outside of the ears and the neck. The step 6 and 7 only we do this just once only. And the last one is rubbing the top to the back of it 3 times. Okay. After the simple procedure of wudu, we can read we can next to read solawat. Okay. Next. This slide will be read by Ahmad Soleh. Soleh, you still in mute mode.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Well, I will continue the presentation. So, we choose the wudu for manipulate or for change the body temperature. You can see this is the specific connection between the body temperature and psychological problems. Okay, body temperature is exceedingly sensitive in conformity with the description about the homeostasis. Okay, the body homeostasis, as they should be influenced by means of the variety of factors such as mental status, physical condition, and sleep cycle. So when we talk about the COVID-19, almost every day we talk about the temperature. But when we go to the mall, office, university, etc., we have to check every day our temperature. But in here, the psychological problems like stress, anxiety, or emotion like sadness or anger, they're closely related to peripheral temperature. It's a difference. There is a difference between the core body temperature and peripheral temperature. Okay, it must be underlined that the peripheral temperature is not equal as much the core body temperature. The peripheral temperature degree out of the 18 Celsius to 36 Celsius, and the higher the temperature value, the extra relaxed a person is. Okay, and then okay. So what is the peripheral body temperature? Peripheral temperature is the temperature of body as a record in the tissue such as skin. As like maybe we can also we also call with the skin temperature. Okay, like when you use air condition. Okay, so peripheral body temperature is influenced by exposure to the external environment and by the activity of the autonomic nervous system and the resulting change in blood flow under the skin in the state of the blood vessels under the skin. Okay, maybe during fear, stress, or other high alert state. And then a reading of the peripheral temperature of body can be obtained from one of these places in the body: your mouth, as the oral temperature, armpit as the axillary temperature, and skin on the forehead as the temporal temperature. Okay, so this is the previous studies about the psychological problems, about the connection between the psychological problems with the peripheral temperature. Emotion like sadness and anxiety have come to be associated with a lower peripheral temperature. And then stress acutely or chronically affect body temperature in psychiatric disorder, including schizophrenia, depressive disorder, and insomnia. And also stress possible to change in human body temperature. And then patients with MDD or major depressive disorder have disrupted rhythm of peripheral body temperature. And the past delay of the temperature rhythm is associated with the suicide risk in patients with MDD. Moreover, amplitude of peripheral body temperature is associated with the severity of insomnia. So, where's the plate of the Wudu? You can look at this several concurrent factors affecting the peripheral temperature, such as the blanketing effect, the sailing effect, or activator, example touching or clinging, or bracelet effect. So, in Indonesia, so many research about Wudu. So this is the benefit of Wudu. You can look at the enhanced sleep quality, decrease insomnia problems, and also increase the function of neurological in human. Wudu also reduce stress, anxiety, depression, enhance emotion stability, and reduce anger, sadness, or fear situation. As a therapy in rehabilitation of narcotics addicts, and also lower blood pressure on patients with hypertension, reduce also asthma symptom, and prevent delinquency behavior on adolescents. Okay, well. Wudu is a meditation process. It's similar when we talk about the meditation from Buddhism. It's similar. We don't talk about the religion. We don't talk about where is the Wudu come from. Where it's useful, we can use through the ablution water that cool the nerve ending of the finger, and thus is useful for increasing concentration of the mind and relaxation. Wudu has a relaxing effect on the body so that it can stimulate the release of endorphin in the body and suppress adrenaline. Wudu can increase blood pressure, increase heart movement, increase the number of red blood cells, activate exchange circulation in the body, increase oxygen level, increase the level of carbon dioxide that come up. Washing the exposed part with the ablution is beneficial for the body, such facilitating urination, removing toxin, increase appetite, activated digestion, stimulating skin, muscle, and joint muscle. The stimulus move to all the muscle of the neck, lung, stomach, then are passed on the all member of the body and gland. So, Wudu also is a cooler. Washing the face, oral and nasal cavity, and wetting scalp, ears, and nape 4 till 5 times a day help the brain to remain cool throughout the day. This obviously means that with the ablution cooler, the head healthier the brain. Therefore, wetting the evaporating surface of the head drain by emulsory and angular fans several times a day would be beneficial for cooling the brain entirely. This is in line with the position of body temperature in body in the slide, previous slide. So, peripheral temperature is also integrated with the brain temperature through the peripatetic area or POA neuron that receive information about the peripheral temperature via an ascending neural pathway, and 25 till 50% of the POA neurons that are activated by local brain warming are also activated by warming of the skin or spinal cord. This many POA cells integrate central and peripheral thermal information. And then finally, we do normalize body temperature and reduce the psychological problems. Wudu can normalize body temperature. This is due to the meeting between hot temperatures in the body and cold water temperature during ablution. Water has a calming power if the water temperature is the same as the skin temperature, while if the water temperature is higher or lower, then it has stimulating effect. The negative ions that arise due to water droplets can reduce pain, neutralize toxin, and help absorb and utilize oxygen. Meanwhile, the presence of this negative ion in the bloodstream will accelerate the delivery of oxygen to cell and tissue so that it can reduce the respiration rate and peripheral body temperature, which are the symptoms of anxiety disorder and also other psychological problems related to peripheral body temperature like sadness, stress, depression, etc. The last is the conclusion. We can conclude that ablution is effective for regulating province body temperature to reduce psychological problems. Wudu can be done without limitation. When the individual experience stress, anger, anxiety, etc., they can perform ablution. You can take a ritual ablution, you can take a wudu. Okay, and then because the ritual ablution is very, very effective to normalize the body temperature. It's very easy to apply, and especially in uncertain situation during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then WISAG is doing further specific experimental research to see the weather effect ablution. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the presentation. And now I'm inviting Adrian to give his presentation.
This is the place to find yourself.
Istanbul offers great universities and the lifestyle is really amazing here.
So I live at the dorms at Maltepe University and I'm really happy with it. There's a cleaning service every few days and then there's the library nearby which is open 24/7.
My first impression when I came was like, it's huge. You have everything in one place.
When you first come to Maltepe University, you don't know where what is and you're like, oh my God, I need help. Guess what? You're not alone. There is the international office people over there. They're like family. They're very helpful and they're always there for you.
Istanbul is the perfect mixture between ancient and modern. Coming into this city helps me discover myself, learn about so many different cultures, learning about the world, which will help me in writing future books.
At Maltepe University, we have a lot of research centers. Because of that, we have the ability to participate in a lot of international projects.
Here at Maltepe University, the education consists of both practical and theoretical. We get the opportunity to practice everything we learn in class in real life. So after we graduate, we have a degree and we can work all over the world.
People come to Istanbul all the time, but what they really miss when they
I'm finishing today's session of our Congress. Our Congress will continue tomorrow. It will start at 10 a.m. Turkish time.